Adam, thank you for joining me. Appreciate it. Thank
Thanks
you
for
all
having
for
me.
joining my show, William Wallace for America. And this interview is with Adam Thierer, correct?
That's correct.
And I like to emphasize it like that because I want to start out on the right foot so people, know who you are.
Sure.
And you're a policy wonk kind of guy, right?
That's right. Yeah, I do the public policy ramifications of various emerging technologies, going way back to the beginning of the internet and all the way through today, things like artificial intelligence and.
Well, you go back to the beginning of the internet? So
I
were you
do.
hanging out with Al Gore?
I wasn't, but I was actually one of the first public policy think tank guys in Washington that was ever connected to the internet, and one of the first that ever did internet policy way back in the early 1990s. So I was sort of present at the birth of this amazing technology.
I love this. It's amazing. At my age, I didn't really get into the technology industry in the beginning, and now when I meet people like you and I hear about the history of it, I go, "Wait, how did I miss that?"
Yeah.
One more time, the name of your organization.
So my organization is called the R Street Institute. We're a Washington, D.C. think tank that covers a broad range of public policy issues, and I'm on the technology and innovation team at the R Street Institute.
So the policies that you write are pertaining to AI.
And all emerging digital technologies.
Let's give the audience a kind of an overview of what you do with that.
Yeah, sure. So I've authored 10 books on various technology policy issues, but one of them was entitled Permissionless Innovation, the continuing case for comprehensive technological freedom. And what I did in that book and in all my work throughout my life is to try to articulate the principles and policies that gave America such an amazing commanding lead in the world of emerging technologies, but specifically information and digital technologies. Here's a true fact for you. Of the 25 biggest digital technology companies in the world by market capitalization, 18 of them are US headquartered. Fully 50% of the top 100 employers, technology employers in the world, are US-based companies. That's an astonishing fact.
How do we miss that?
Well, people like to complain a lot about tech companies these days, but we should be happy that most of them are American companies.
Right.
That we're not dealing with like leaders from Europe or China, right?
Yeah.
Because this was a great technological revolution that America won. And we won it because we got public policy right in this country. We adopted a permissionless innovation vision in a bipartisan way that basically gave innovators the freedom to innovate. We treated innovation as innocent until proven guilty. We didn't have to say you have to get a permission slip to go out and start the next great technology company. You could just go do it.
Right. Free market capitalism.
Absolutely. And that was a big change.
So basically, you represented the free market capitalism of America onto the into the AI system.
That's right. So what we have to think now is we're on the cusp of another great technological revolution, right? And we won the first round of the sort of internet web wars, if you will.
Right.
American companies did. But the question now is we're facing stiff competition from European companies, from Chinese companies, and many, many others.
Because they're probably trying to adjust those policies to fit their needs and their countries, correct?
And they're spending a lot of money trying to do it. Let me tell you
Which takes power away from the United States.
Absolutely, it could. And we
but
have
your
to
company's preventing that.
Well, my think tank, it's not a company, it's a nonprofit think tank. What we're trying to do is advocate that we get the public policies right again, that we adopt the same sort of secret sauce, if you will, that powered the internet revolution in this country, which again was about the freedom to innovate and giving entrepreneurs the chance to go out and do things without having to seek some permission from some faceless bureaucrat at some big federal agency in the swamp of Washington. That was crucial to powering that revolution forward. The question is, can we do it again? Can we do it for the next great revolution, which is a computational revolution that is global in character? And we live in a world today that is characterized what I call global innovation arbitrage. Basically, innovators will flow to wherever they're treated most hospitably. And that might be America, but it might not be if our policies are wrong-headed.
So I always like to say things, like a kindergartner sometimes, or a 2-year-old, because I like to make things simple, okay? And you have so much experience in this, but what I get from what you're saying is you were around at a time when America was the leader in the innovation and policy side of the internet, and we didn't have any competition, so we excelled at this and became really good and proficient at it. And now other countries are doing it, so we have competition, and they're trying to do it to pull power away from the United States. And so now you all have to change your game a little bit to create policy that not only protects American interests, but protects our freedoms and liberties when it comes to AI.
And our security.
And our security.
Let's be clear. there is a symbiotic relationship between a nation's technology base and its global standing, both competitively speaking and our geopolitical security.
Okay.
We want to make sure that we have cutting edge technologies in this country, not just because it creates really great new gadgets and life-saving innovations. That is important. But we really want to make sure that we're the leaders in technology because we have to be able to counter our adversaries and their capabilities. And today, that's increasingly China. And China has declared that they want to be the global leader in artificial intelligence by 2040 and surpass the United States and overtake its lead in it right now. This is a perilous moment for us because if we get this wrong and the Chinese do lead, then the concerns people have about AI, and I understand there are some, but they're going to be a whole hell of a lot more scary if it's all Chinese infrastructure and technology that we're dealing with.
That's controlling it. This is I did a parallel interview on this with a company called that's working with the patent system. And he explained the weaknesses in our U.S. patent system. And I'm not going to go into the interview, but he explained our weaknesses in the U.S. patent system that our technology innovators and companies are facing, while China is actually strengthening their patent system because of technology. So it kind of doubles down.
So there's that point, but there's another issue about patents, which is that the Chinese are stealing our intellectual property. Right. They're actually aggressively over here spying and embedding people to try to get out our secrets and take them over to China. So we face a serious conflict with China, and we don't want that to become militaristic. We don't want that to escalate, but a lot of that is already happening in the world of technology. And what do we need to do as a nation? We need to double down on the winning formula that gave us the internet and the digital revolution in this country, which was a strong technology base of companies and entrepreneurs and investors who are willing to come here and create great products and companies. One of the amazing things that's happened that powered this revolution is that we essentially stole the world's best and brightest. We didn't force them to come here.
Right.
They came here because we're the land of opportunity. And on digital technology, we had more opportunity than any country on this planet. And so the Chinese and the Europeans realized, their best and brightest, they left.
This,
They came to America. And the investors followed them. The venture capitalists followed and invested here. That could be reversed in the AI world if we get public policy wrong. And tonight, Joe Biden's going to go and do a State of the Union, assuming he's coherent enough to get through the speech, and he's going to talk about AI. And he'll probably give some lip service to the benefits, but he's going to talk about, there's all these dangers and all these blah, blah, blah. He's got proposals out there to regulate all sorts of things in the AI world. He's got a so-called AI Bill of Rights, which is more like a Bill of Regulations. He's got a 110-page executive order. We're trying to micromanage AI.
And you guys are overseeing this.
We're trying to stop government overreach and sort of bureaucratism run amok, like we've seen in other areas, right? We already know the downside of overregulation in this country.
Pretty soon there'll be a Department of AI, right?
Well, people have proposed it. People have called for federal robotics commissions, federal AI.
Bureaucratic agency that spends our money and
it's
takes
astonishing. Here's a true fact. The federal government in this United States is massive. That's a true fact.
Right.
Well, how massive is it? We have 436 different federal departments, 2.2 million civilian workers working at those 436 departments. And people try to tell me we don't have enough bureaucracy or one more is going to do the trick. Give me a break.
I love this.
We need to start reforming all the muckety-muck we've got going on right now at the federal level. And by the way, AI is not completely unregulated. In individualized sectors, it's very regulated. Go talk to the FDA about how it regulates AI in medicine, or the EEOC and AI in hiring, or the Federal Trade Commission, or any other agency. They're all over it. In fact, they're probably over-regulating in some ways. The reason we didn't have a drone revolution in this country is because our Federal Aviation Administration basically wouldn't allow them to get off the ground.
Yeah, because I don't know how they regulated that, but it amazes me still and all how much bureaucracy we have. I talked about this. I talked about it on my show, on my podcast last night. I think bureaucracy is a noose around the neck of our federal government.
It's a hidden tax on innovation.
And even worse yet, nobody talks about how it affects our unfunded liabilities.
Absolutely.
You've got all these millions of employees in a system that end up retiring after 20 years.
Absolutely.
And the department just keeps going on and on.
Regulation is accumulating like sludge in a harbor that prevents our ships of industry to get out there and do bold things. We have got to get this problem under control in this country. It is a hidden tax on innovation and entrepreneurialism. It's one that just constantly is growing. And at the margins, we see some breakthroughs and people get around the system sometimes. but oftentimes it gets bogged down, and the opportunity cost of regulation is profound. We don't get life-saving, world-changing innovations because of too much regulation and bureaucracy.
So let me summarize this as we wrap up and make sure I got this straight for the people who are watching and that might want to be involved or have some questions for you that we can do another show on later, because I'm excited about what your information is. So your organization saw the need to be able to create policy that protects innovation, not only for the innovators and the investors, but also to keep government overreach. Is that correct?
To make sure that we limit the regulatory overreach of not just the federal government, but state and local government as well, to micromanage and try to overplan and have a centralized command and control kind of model for technological innovation. We don't need that in this country. What made us the most innovative country on the planet is when we unleashed entrepreneurial spirit to let it go out and people run wild and do great, amazing things. That's the secret sauce.
That's how it is. When you let the innovators innovate and the entrepreneurs build,
right?
Our free market system goes gangbusters.
Absolutely.
And we have not only more freedom and more money,
yeah.
but happier people. So
That's
you
right.
basically saw the need, and your organization is kind of like the liaison that works with legislators on a local level,
state, federal, everywhere. And we're here at the Pelican Institute Summit today, and we're talking a whole bunch of different groups about how we can work together to fight regulatory overreach on a whole number of fronts. But AI is the next one, and there's already so many proposals out there. Massive increase. Last year there was a 440% increase in the number of AI-related bills introduced by state and local legislatures. 440% increase. I've been doing this for 32 years, and I've never seen that level of regulatory interest in any other sector. So this is the problem of bureaucratism and overreach once again creeping into what could be the next great American innovation success story.
How do people get involved with your company or find out more
my think
about
tank is called the R Street Institute. They can find me at rstreet.org, or they can find me on sites like Twitter and LinkedIn, and I'm always happy to talk.
I'm going to be reaching out to you here soon, too, there, Adam.
All right.
Thank you so much for being on.
Thank you so much for having me.
And if you're interested in not only AI and the policies that's going to be created, please tune in to R Street, and we're going to get and share this with somebody that you think might be interested. Thank you all so much.